But anyway, they got it all ended up, somebody told me that when I called Recorder's Court, they told me that I would have to get a bond, get a bondsman, and I needed to go to state court and not Recorder's Court, because I was in contempt. And once you're in contempt, you can't go back to the court. I didn't know. I don't know what was up. I couldn't afford a lawyer, so I did what the Recorder's Court people told me to do, and had a clue. They couldn't find my tickets. They didn't know this. They didn't know that. What else was there? You know, you have to get this bond. You have to pay so much money for this. And it all ended up just being. I had to go to Recorder's Court to say that I was going to go to state court, because you got to have Recorder's Court, which is the city court. I got to Recorder's Court because I had to, otherwise I'd be in contempt. But when I was there, they said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I thought I was supposed to go to state court." And the judge says, "Well, you can take care of the set of tickets here, and then you have to go to state court for the contempt things." And I said, "Well, I thought I was supposed to do it all in state court." And the judge says, "Okay, that's where you're going to do it." And that ended up costing me $750 right there that I didn't know about. But they should have automatically suspended my license for 6 months, because that particular ticket that no, it wasn't that particular ticket. It was another. I don't know. I'm confused myself now. This is one way to get away with things, is just get a bunch of tickets piled up, and then they screw it all up. But the outcome was that when I went to state court, they bonded. Well, all the bonds got paid back, and my license had been suspended for 60 days, but if I could just pay the fines, that's all I had to do was pay the fines. And I never got the 6-month suspension that was supposedly automatic when you don't have car insurance. So, island.
Okay.
There's my yard. There's the tree that lightning hit and blew down in my yard. Now we're going to go down to this little place where I might have gotten shot at last week. Because this is a cul-de-sac. It's down at the end of the street. This street doesn't go anywhere else except right down into this weird little apartment complex of the Damned, which I've been here what, 6 years now? Yeah, 6 years, since 2004, and this place has been abandoned twice. When I first moved in here, people lived in all these apartments, and then they all vanished, and then they sat empty for like 2 years and got into this state that they are now. And then somebody, whoever owns them, or somebody bought them and came and tried to refurbish them and had them all put back together and had the place livable. But I don't know whether that was right before the economic crunch happened and things got bad. But anyway, a couple of guys in a car drove back here, and I was out working on the tree, trying to cut it up, and I saw them go by, and they went down in here, and I heard a gun go off. So they just drove down in here, fired a couple of shots, and then turned around and saw them, drove out again when I was up there cutting on the tree up at my house. And I was busy cutting up on the tree, so I didn't worry about it. Later on, when I was through cutting up the tree for the day, I said, well, I'm going to call the police and tell them what happened. And no, I didn't. That's not what I got, is to call the police. I decided to call the police after I got in my car and rolled down there and looked around, and then heard a shot. That was like right there in the little apartment complex. So I guess somebody was shooting at me, or shooting just to scare me. I'm not sure which.
All right.
When I was 17, I got expelled from the private high school that I had a scholarship to for drinking at a school function. The kid that was drunk at the school function, what it was a play, and I was a stage manager for these. I think there was like 2 one-act plays or 3 one-act plays, and I was the stage manager for it. And the other kid was supposed to be my assistant and helping me run the lights, and we were in 2 different places. And the first night the show was kind of rocky, but we did all right. The second night I go to pick him up at his house, and he had like one of those. Now this is 1977, but they still had big cups from the 7-Eleven. And one of these big plastic cups, soda cups from 7-Eleven, full of rum and Coke. And he'd had a couple of his mother's Valium. So he was like blistered when I picked him up. And I don't even know why I took him. I should have just said, okay, forget it, you just stay here. But I took him. And on the way there, he's got this damn drink with him. So you better give me a couple of hits off of that before I get there, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need it, because tonight is going to be a fiasco. And so I had a couple of hits off of his drink, which was really, really strong. The show turned into shit, like a huge steaming pile of it, and I was blamed for it. And the teacher, the drama teacher, said, "I smell liquor on you." I don't think anything ever happened to the other kid, and he was just blotto. I mean, rum and Valium, come on. And so I got kicked out of school, sent to psychiatrists is what this whole thing's. My friend Scott here has asked me, he was talking about psychology, so my experiences with psychologists. When I was 17, there was, so I got kicked out of school, so they sent me to the shrinks, obviously. The first guy they sent me to was wearing a white turtleneck. Now, this is 1977. He's got this white turtleneck on, this thin jersey-like material. He's got a goatee. Nobody had a goatee in 1977. And he had these large horn-rimmed glasses on. And I was 17, angry young man, and I didn't say anything to him at all. I'd go to his office and I'd sit there for an hour. He'd ask me questions and I'd go yes, no, and then I wouldn't say anything, after the first 10 minutes. And he would say, watch me in silence for a while, and he'd say, "Where did you go?" And my reply was just to look at him. Right here. Next guy they sent me to, that didn't go anywhere. The next guy they sent me to was this guy who probably looks like I do now, and he had a cast on his leg. This man in a 3-piece suit, he's probably my age, he's probably 50, 55, and he's in a 3-piece suit, and he's got a cast on his leg, and he's cut his suit pants for this cast that he's got on his leg. His office was dark. It was like this windowless room that was dark, and he had a lamp in there, and it was like wood paneling on the walls, and it was just a dark, had a dark atmosphere in the room. And he smoked Lucky Strikes. And he sat in his chair with his foot propped up to the cast, and he smoked these fucking Luckies, man. It was like, got the Lucky in his mouth, and he never took the ash off. He smoked the Lucky like this. And the ash got longer, and longer, and longer. And he smoked the whole cigarette, and the ash was on there before he would tip it over to the ashtray that was right there. I mean, regardless of the guy's leg being broke, it was obvious that when he got ensconced in his office, he didn't move. He sat there and smoked his Luckies and talked to people. And I didn't get anywhere with him either. The next one they sent me to, I don't even remember. It was so bad. That's the end of my psychologist story.
All right.